Hello, I have a lot of visitors.
Very good. And lanterns up here.
Literally put like this.
Yes, literally.
Bonnie.
Back in time. Well, you've been back in time for a while now. And I'll start off with this one. What come you hear the red coats? Your mind with madness fills. In our family there's danger in our hills. Hear you not the singing of the bugle wide and free. Soon you'll hear the ringing of the rifle from the tree. For the rifle, and this is your part. For the rifle in our hands will prove no trifle. You ride a goodly steed, you may know a better master. Forward come with speed, you'll learn to back much faster when you meet our mountain boys. Their leader Johnny Stark. Boys who make but little noise, boys who always hit their mark. For the rifle in our hands will prove no trifle. Have you no braves at home across the briny water? That forward you must come like bullocks to the slaughter. Well, if we the work must do, then sooner 'tis begun. If flint and trigger prove but true, the quicker 'twill be won. For the rifle in our hands will prove no trifle. So why do I begin a show about Johnny Burgoyne's defeat at the hands of our great, in Bennington, the riflemen at Bennington? I begin because this is where the rifles were from. This is where rifles were made, the armaments of the Revolution here. And so songs like that, this place had a lot to do with such decisive defeats. We're going to explore the life and times of this wilderness ironworks by looking at the songs that were part of the lives of the people that were here. Instruments, that was a guitar, looked like a lute, but it is a lute guitar. The penny whistle is what I began with. And I'll start with play an instrument that comes to us from the German heritage in honor of Peter Hasenclever, who 1766 came here, purchased this land, and had the vision, and imported 500 European workers and their families. Suddenly, a community. And since so many of them were Germans, as was Peter, we'll start with an instrument that, as I said, the mountain dulcimer. We think of it as an Appalachian instrument, and it is, but it started in Pennsylvania, where German settlers missed the zithers they left behind in the old country, so they made their own. And it became a whole new folk instrument here in America. Musiden, du stille hinaus, und du, mein Schatz, bleib hier. Wenn ich komm, wenn ich wiederkomm, carry ein, mein Schatz, bei dir. Wenn ich der allweil bei dir sein, hab ich nur mein Freude und dir. Wenn ich komm, wenn ich wiederkomm, carry ein, mein Schatz, bei dir. And so a lot of German songs would have been sung here, but as the days, as they became more American, they started singing a song that we all know, so let's sing it for them. Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle, dandy. My music and the step, with the girls behind me. Father and I went down to camp, along with Captain Gooding, and there we saw the men and boys took us to sweet pudding. Yankee Doodle, giving orders to his men. I guess there was a million. Yankee Doodle, keep it up. Yankee Doodle, dandy. Mind the music and the step with the girls behind me. I want to quickly, even though it's in the dark, show you the basics of a mountain dulcimer. I was playing it with my fingers, but it was made easy because they used a stick to slide up the scale. And the other two strings that I'm not covering, a harmony, the drone underneath. And that's your easy lesson. Of course, they did not have red plastic picks in those days. They had feathers. Feathers were the original pick for the dulcimer. Goose feathers, turkey feathers, they were the ones, strongest, the ones you wrote with. Very strong and good for playing dulcimers. These people who came here are brought to a wilderness, so they're chopping down trees and then they're building forges and foundries and furnaces and farms and stores and everything that they need to have community. So they're just creating this out of deep woods. And that's what this song is about, making do with whatever you find. Dulcimers, feathers, corn husks for your bedding, stuffed in mattresses, just not wasting anything. This farmer's pig dies of the measles. He's not going to waste it. He's going to find a use for every part of that pig, and I'm not going to waste you. I got a part for you to sing. Every time we get to the sow took the measles and she, you sing, died in the spring. It's sad. How do you think I began the world? I got me a sow and several other things. Sow took the measles and she died in the spring. What do you think I made of her hide? The very best saddle you ever did ride. A saddle, a bridle, any such thing. So took the measles and she died in the spring. What do you think I made of her tail? The very best whip that ever saw it sail. A whip, socket, any such thing. So took the measles and she died in the spring. What do you think I made of her nose? The very best thimble that ever sewed clothes. Yep, dried up pig's nose on their finger when they sew. Thimble, thread, or any such thing. So took the measles and she died in the spring. What do you think I made of her feet? The very best pickles you ever did. Pickles or glue or any such thing. So took the measles and she died in the spring. Thank you. Now, of course, they had to be farming here in order to eat, but mostly you're going to find the craftsmen like blacksmiths populating this clearing. And there's a lot of folk songs about ballads about blacksmiths. And there's scalawags in every one of them. They're the love 'em and leave 'em type, I think, is the problem with blacksmiths. At least that's what the songs tell us, so you gotta go with what eyewitness accounts. A blacksmith courted me 9 months or better, and when he won my heart, he wrote me a letter with his hammer in his hand. He looked so clever, and if I was with my love, I would live forever. But where is my love gone, with his cheeks like roses, and his black tricorn hat on, decked round with primroses? I'm afraid the scorching sun will mar his beauty, and if I was with my love, I would do my duty. Oh, it's not what you promised me when you lay down beside me. You said you'd marry me and you'd not deny me. If I said I'd marry you, it was only to try you. So bring your witness on, and I'll not deny you. Witness have I none, save God Almighty, and He'll surely punish you for the slighting of me. Looking in the glass makes my poor heart tremble, to think I loved a man who proved deceitful. Well, strange news has come to town. Strange news is carried, and now it's all the talk that my love is married. I wish them both much joy, though they can't hear me. I never will die for love, kind friends, believe me. A little drink. So the revolution brought some very clever tunes, and we'll go back to the Mountain Dulcimer for one right here about the soldiers and the uniforms that they wore. Our soldiers didn't have much, of course. they had armaments, but they didn't have clothes. And so that's what the song's about. Soldiers freezing and starving and trying to get by. And a girl sees a soldier dressed in rags and she tries to bribe him to marry her. Soldier, soldier, will you marry me with your musket, pipe, and drum? How can I marry such a pretty girl as you when I've got no shoes to put on? So off to the shoe shop she'd go, fast and shake her robe. Brought it back as fine as it was there. Soldier, put it on. Soldier, soldier, will you marry me with your musket, pipe, and drum? How can I marry such a pretty girl as you when I've got no coat to put on? Off to the coat shop she'd go, fast as she could run. Brought it back as fine as it was there. Soldier, put it on. Soldier, soldier, will you marry me now with your musket, pipe, and drum? How can I marry such a pretty girl as you when I've got no hat to put on? Off to the hat shop she'd go, fast as she could run. Brought it back as fine as it was there. Soldier, put it on. Soldier, soldier, will you marry me now with your musket, pipe, and drum? How can I marry such a pretty girl as you, with a wife and 12 children at home? Another instrument of early America we don't see a lot of are these guys. This is you can see his shadow, the limberjack. Let's bring one lantern up here. Can that'd be great. Just right here, so he has a spotlight. That's great. Thank you. You'll see him a little better with that. Perfect. Oh, this one went out. That's the trap. Okay. Goodbye girls, going to Boston. Goodbye girls, going to Boston. Goodbye girls, going to Boston. Early in the morning. What will you put in the ballroom? What will you put in the ballroom? What will you put in the ballroom? Early in the morning. Last year, at this time, at this very concert, a miraculous thing happened. I can't see if they're here. Somebody in my audience who had seen my show before and was inspired came to me with a new handmade lumberjack. If you can tell who it is, I think you can see.
Lincoln?
Yes, yes. Let's see, oh, here it is. Are the craftsmen here? No, okay. Oh, they're too shy. So it's really amazing. And it's just so magical to present it with a lumberjack in such a setting that someone had made. So here he is. So nice to see Lincoln kicking up his heels. Such a sad thing. So it's so there he is, Abraham Lincoln. Well, you heard when I was coming in, you heard an instrument. It is also called a dulcimer. It's completely different than a mountain dulcimer. Hammers hitting strings. What does that make it the ancestor of? Piano, right? The piano came out of this. Hammer dulcimer comes to us from Persia in the 11th century. That's where it began. And so it was very popular in colonial America for dances. Itinerant musicians would come into a tavern or into a barn and play a dance. And so such a village as this, they would have to have dancing. People needed that with all of the work that we're doing. So let's hear a couple of dance tunes. it turns out there was a Scottish immigrant right here manning this place, the Iron Master that took over in 1771. He was a Scotsman, a scientist, an inventor, Robert Erskine. And he became the Surveyor General for George Washington. So there was just a very big connection with the armaments made here and what Washington needed. But I'm sure he missed the old country, and so for him, I'd like to play a Robert Burns tune about long-distance love. My love is like a red, red rose. My love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung into. My love is like a melody sweetly played into. As fair blue, my bonny lass, so deep in love and I would love you still, my dear, till all the seas get dry. Till all the seas get dry, my love, and the rocks melt with the sun. Ooh, I would love you still, my dear, till sands of time shall run. So fare thee well, my only love, fare thee well. I would love to you, my love, if I go 10,000 miles, if I go 10,000 miles, my love, if I go 10,000 miles, ooh, I'll return to you, my love, the 10,000 miles. Well, these people, I'd like to end with a tune that really reminds us of all they went through. As I said, carving a life out of the wilderness. I'm going to go up. The dulcimer is only in one key at a time. So if you want to change from a C to a D, you just have to do it. A song that was written by a Scotsman, the captain of a slave ship. He wrote it 1744. He wrote it because, well, he was a slave trader, didn't think much anything about that, just doing his job. And then one day, a terrible storm came up. And it didn't look like anyone was going to make it through. And in the middle of that tempest, he goes out on deck and he prays and he sees a vision. He is just, he thinks his life is at an end. And so he is just there with the elements. And he says, please let me live. I see how I'm living and I will change it if you give me the chance. The next morning, the seas were calm and everyone was there and alive, and he was true to his word. It took him 2 years to quit the slave trade, but he did. And from then on, he wrote hymns the rest of his life. His name was John Newton, and a hymn about that miracle that transformed him, that storm, he called Amazing Grace. Please sing along. Amazing grace, how brought us safe thus far. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far. Grace will lead us home. Grace will lead us home. Amazing grace, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Thank you so much. It's lovely, and I'm so glad you came despite the drizzle, because there's nothing like a concert in the barn. Thank you. I'm so happy to be part of it.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us and entertaining us and teaching us. Okay, carefully grab your stuff, your lantern, and walk out.
You can, yeah. That's right.
Thank you very much.
No, that's your. Wow. Pretty loud, yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, I don't have to finger, is it like, oh, yeah, I know what you mean, yes. Yeah, right.